About 8 years ago, I was pregnant and I started having some symptoms that didn't feel like pregnancy symptoms. It was extreme. Like walking to the bathroom, it was like walking a marathon. They had discovered that I had postpartum cardiomyopathy. The pregnancy was putting stress on my heart. I know that they say that you can recover from it, but over the course of, the years, it started to rapidly get worse.
Cardiomyopathy is another term for heart failure, and it's when it means a sick heart muscle. And it's when the heart can't generate the blood flow that the body needs to sustain both just the body's functions in terms of organ function, but also quality of life.
I had been denied 4 times for transplant. So it was so many different factors on why I was denied that I didn't know anymore. Well, my local hospital was ready to pull the plug on me. They were like, there's nothing more we can do. At that point, it was like everything set in, and I had literally, like, on my way here, wrote letters to my kids. The first thing that popped into my mind was to just sit down and write down what I would say if I was here, when my daughter went to prom and married and stuff like that. If I wasn't here, this is what I would want to say to her.
So Miss Gilmore was transferred, and when she was transferred, she was pretty sick. She was in cardiogenic shock. So in heart failure, a lot of uncommon diseases then get concentrated in terms of particularly the ones that then go on to require transplant and devices and things like that.
So when I got here and I talked to Dr. Tang, and he's like, well, what kind of information did they give you? And I said, they just said I was too much of a risk. And he's like, I know, nope, we don't believe that here. He said, we don't believe that. He's like, everything is a risk. That's when I was evaluated for the total artificial heart.
The artificial heart is sort of just a unique niche of all of those patients. It's often done in the sickest of patients who are high risk for complications, and then as a consequence of that, the challenges they face in terms of being able to recover and then go on to a transplant are greater.
But having that total artificial heart required a lot. Like, that wasn't an elevator, by any means. That thing scared me to death because they're taking my heart completely out. When it was time for me to go home, we had a cart like that. It was like packed to the brim. And so I called them the dream team because they were like so dependable, and I needed that.
And once you have an artificial heart, she was able to go home, wait for a transplant, and then the process begins to wait for a transplant. And during that time, we had to find there has to be a donor with the right size, right blood type. And then we send our own team to go look at the heart and assess its function before any final decision is made on our side in the operating room. And then that heart is then implanted into the recipient.
I was literally a month out, and then Saturday, they were like, we might have a heart for you. And I was like, I just left there.
Usually the first 24 hours after transplant is fairly critical because we have to now understand if the donor heart is able to support the circulation in the recipient and how the body is going to handle that. So all these teams have to work together very carefully, remembering that the patient is a member of the team and the critical part of the team.
I woke up and I felt like a brand new person. I put my life in them, and they breathed it back into me.
Sorry, Mommy. Of course. You're back.
Sorry.
You're back.
And I haven't felt like this in a long time. For so long, I was the sick person, you know? So I really have used these last couple days to sit down and, try to reflect and think about, now I got a future to look forward to.